Hey everyone, it's Aviation Buff, and I'm doing another video today on defending the Brewster Buffalo. And wow, my first video caused a lot of negative comments and opinions regarding the Brewster Buffalo. And they're pretty common comments towards the Brewster Buffalo. And I'm making another video defending the Brewster Buffalo and some points I wanted to address. The real question is, how do we know an aircraft is the worst? How do we define the worst? And if an aircraft saw combat and actually has victories for it, would you define that as some sort of success? I would. Not saying an aircraft has to see combat to be successful, but the Brewster Buffalo did claim victories, and it also helped stall the Japanese movement. The Japanese couldn't just go around an opponent, so where do we start? Well, let's start with the British, Dutch, and Commonwealth Air Forces that flew the Brewster Buffalo in the Pacific. It's known that they didn't do very well against the Japanese. But the truth is that they were completely unprepared to fight a war in this area, no matter what aircraft they used. Allied forces took the Japanese too lightly, and logistics played more of a role than anything. Remember, we are talking about the battle-hardened Japanese pilots, the best in the world. They had years of experience fighting and had years to prepare for a war in the Pacific. The Japanese crews were tenacious, and the Japanese had many years of training and experience to perfect their craft. Again, remember, the Allied forces took the Japanese as inferior. And as the war progressed, Japan started to lose their most veteran pilots, and they could never replace or recover from this. As the war years went on, fewer and fewer Japanese veterans remained. And as far as the Marine pilots that flew the Brewster Buffalo at Midway, many of the U.S. pilots were fresh out of flight school. They were green pilots that didn't have a lot of experience, and they were flying against the cream of the crop Japanese pilots. And on a side note, the Wildcat at Midway didn't fare any better as well. But Wildcat pilots had to adopt dive and zoom and thatch weave tactics to counter the Japanese pilots. And what helped the Wildcat in combat was that the Wildcat was an extremely rugged aircraft that could take the punishment. By the time the Marines arrived on Guadalcanal with Wildcats, U.S. pilots were becoming veterans, and with new tactics to fight against the Japanese, the Wildcat started to gain a foothold over the Japanese. Now, overview. The Brewster was at the front, and the Japanese had to take the time and power to deal with these forces before they can continue their Pacific domination. The Buffalo saw aerial victories and delayed the Japanese so that our forces could get organized. I don't know about you, but I would consider that an achievement for the Buffalo. And the Buffalo is still one of my favorite aircraft of World War II. Hopefully, these little details I addressed help the story in a more broad light. And I think we should all remember the crews that flew the Buffalo against overwhelming odds. Thank you everyone for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe to help save aviation history. And also, don't forget to shop at warbirdbunker.com for cool airplane t-shirts. Buying from warbirdbunker.com helps save aviation history. And also, please use Warbird for you as a discount code at warbirdbunker.com. The code is good till October 30th for 15% off t-shirts. All t-shirts are USA made. Alright everyone, with that, thanks for watching. Till next time, bye.